Recording.
Let's fire this puppy up, y'all. Okay. Which way should we go? Let's go go the back roads. Back roads a little bit more fun. Gotta call Progressive. Tell them the insurance cover's been wrong. It's got ABS. It's a beautiful day. You can see I'm wearing short sleeves. We got lots of sunshine. It's blue skies, Mr. Blue Sky. I had to pop on some music like that, Mr. Blue Sky. I don't think so right now it's giving me a little blue bubble thing, which, because an Android phone, I think that means that it's connecting to the Samsung version of Hey Google, which I don't think it's like tip top yet. But it is a beautiful day. Through my sunglasses, everything looks real green. We'll see what the video camera says it looks like. But I'm having a good time. I got some cash to pay the gutters guy. I got weeds growing at the old house again. I don't understand. I got to put some kind of brake spray on this. I'm riding my trusty Triumph Tiger 800XC. This is a first gen from 2012. I love this bike. It could be better, but when it works well, it works really well. You know. I also got one of those Italian Ducati Multistrada. I'm in third. The Multistrada, it definitely has its, pros and cons. But if you just want to like cruise around in town, you want some low end torque, you want to, some slow speed kind of stuff, lighter weight. Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Tiger, man. This thing, even with the big 21-inch front tires, a little bit. I'm not a very tall guy. I'm 5'10". I wear like a 30-inch pants, man. I'm not a tall guy. 5'10", but this bike is tall, which means it's a pain in the butt. But once you get used to it, the height's like not a big deal. Most of the time, you're just up on top of the bike. And even now at the stoplights, I'm all right. I'm all right. I can put 1 foot flat on the ground. I put the Heidenau K60. Is it the Rangers? I got the really long lasting tires on here. I'm not convinced that was the right move. When they're warm, I believe that they perform somewhat better, but man, when these things are cold, they are just slip and slide city. So this bike probably won't get much action once the weather here really chills off. But I got like maybe a few more weeks, maybe not with this bike left for the season. And I'm going to milk it for every bit that I can. This bike is my favorite chill cruiser in town. Now, when it comes to the highway, well, 80 miles an hour, this bike it's not its strong suit. The wind protection's not there. I'm getting the beak fixed. That'll help a lot. That'll help a little bit. I think I smelled the wacky tobacco in front of me. But the Multistrada at 80 mile an hour is just pretty much a Roadmaster beast. That thing is very sturdy, very stable. Little dog, little dog, little dog. Whereas this guy is not really a mile munching 80 mile an hour machine. 80 miles an hour in metric has got to be about, let's see here, 80 plus 48, 128, got that about 130 kilometers an hour. So maybe that's 80 miles an hour, 130, which is cooking, you know. For those of you in the imperial system, sorry, excuse me, a metric system point of view, not imperial, 130 kilometers an hour. Think about the Multistrada. This bike is like a sedan with a decent six-cylinder at highway speeds. You can do it. You can get around somebody. It's not going to be like mind-blowing, but the job will get done. No problem. You'll do it. It's just you're going to have to like muscle your way through it a little bit. With the Multi, it's like you're dropping a V8 powered sedan, you know? That thing is heavy, and that thing is powerful, and that thing like takes no prisoners. But in the towny kind of shit, you don't want that bike, man. That bike, it ain't got no low end torque. You don't get no juice out of that lemon until you get past 5,000 RPM. Whereas this little thing, man, 800cc, 799 or something, 95 horses stock, and at this altitude, you're not going to get none of that because you're at 7,000 feet up here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. But it's still a blast, man. This bike is just lighter, more nimble. It's got that real off-road worthiness. You know, could a KTM outperform it? Sure, but for the 7,000 bucks I dropped on this thing, man, I've put 5,000 miles on it, and it always puts a smile on my face, man. It's easy to ride. Kind of sort of like a no frills bike. Didn't come with no heated grips. Had to upgrade the aftermarket windscreen to the Puig. Seat's kind of hard. Suspension's a little on the hard side for how I want to use it. I've put a lot of off-road miles on this thing. Done some road trip action down south. Climbed it high into the hills over lots of bumpy rocks. I've truly, you know, put a beating on this motorcycle, and it's still kicking just fine. You know, true beating and still kicking great. So this is my first foray into motovlogging, and I bought the Senna device with the 50C designation, so it's got some mesh connection, and it's got some. Sadly, I didn't get the 50S. I thought I was getting the top of the line, but I don't have FM on here. But I got Spotify. That's probably good enough. Alrighty, we're gonna turn towards the crib neighborhood. It's a pretty place to ride motorcycles. I'm not a fan of riding in the town, but window is closing fast now that it's like October the 5th, maybe? And still got some nice weather. Early October here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but it could snow tomorrow, y'all. We're in that part of the season. We might not have much window left, so I'm going to get it while I can. I'm wearing shorts, t-shirt, little vest, some sunglasses. I'm just trying to get the last little bits of vitamin D here that I can get. Man, at low speeds, this bike is wonderful. Like anything like up to 70 mile an hour, this is a great choice. Up to 70. After 70, you're like, okay, now I need the big boy. But up to 70 mile an hour, this bike is very comfortable. 40, it's a little overstated on the speedometer. It's not 47. It's a little bit lower than this, maybe like 44, but you could do worse, easily. I have, you know, just like anybody else, thought about getting the new Triumph Tiger. But I don't think I'm done with this one yet. No, like this one's still got lots of smiles to depart on my face. And I think I'm going to extract more smiles. I'm not giving the bike up for 10,000. All right, look, I bought it with 2,500. It's at like 7,500. If I really push it next summer, maybe I could feel like I got, 10,000 miles out of a machine, 7,500 for me, and I'll feel content, and I feel like I can upgrade to a slightly better mid-size machine. I'd prefer another Triumph. I like Triumphs. I love this 3-cylinder engine. It's got nice low-end torque, not too much, but it's got enough. It's got plenty, honestly. Not enough. It's got plenty. I'll tell you what's past the hood. Let's just cook a little more. It's got plenty of torque, y'all. It's one of my favorite things about this bike. It's pretty well balanced. It's a little top heavy mass-wise, but for just getting out and about, standing on the peg, it needed a handlebar riser. That's one upgrade. It needed heated grips. That was another upgrade. I put a little mesh thing on the seat to make the seat just a little more softer. It needed new tires when I got it, so I put the hide now, the K60s on here. But it's like, for like a little bit of a hooligan machine, for a little bit of an off-road machine, and even for a little bit of a commuting machine, this bike would commute to work just fine. This thing is a pretty great all-rounder. Does it do any one particular thing better than anybody else? Probably not. Does it have an amazing combination of all things? Probably, I'd call this bike well-rounded. I'd call this bike a shit ton of fun to drive. Of course, that's, this thing puts smiles on my face. Not too powerful, but definitely powerful enough. Plenty of low-end torque. You can get 90 on this thing, and it's also not over-engineered. So like a modern, big, heavy, contemporary $25,000 machine is a little over-engineered. You don't feel anything. It's just like set and forget, and you're just going, and you're on a motorcycle, and it's pretty cool. Whereas this bike is like, no, dude, don't go to sleep. You gotta stay engaged. And that engagement is kind of like driving a manual transmission automobile. The manual says, dude, do not fall asleep. You stay on top of your shit, man. You drive, or you go and get you an automatic. You're going to be a sleepyhead. These manuals are not made for sleepyheads. And this bike is reminiscent of like driving like a manual. Now, all motorcycles are sequential manuals, right? So this bike, it just throws you back to like driving like a manual Miata or manual Volkswagen car, where you just feel engaged. Whereas, more engineered features means there's less for the driver to do. And you pay for that, and it's more modern and contemporary. But the less you're doing, the less you're actually driving. And I'd argue that takes away from the intention of the experience. You hop on a bike to drive, not to be driven like you're Miss Daisy or something. Right? We've got a pickup truck. No, all good. I love this little lean. Trust the tires and get on the gasolina and give me gear. Yeah, baby, fucking it up. Woo! If that doesn't put a fucking smile on your face, shit, man. I had a boat captain in Greece, Captain Stelios. He told me some stuff one time about what makes him really happy, and he said catching fish, fishing and hunting. He's like, look, man, he said it's better than sex, okay? You catch a great fish, you kill an incredible animal. It says it's the dopamine and adrenaline rush that he's going to get is, tops. He was sincere, and I have suspicion he was telling some truth. So for me, that same feeling might come from riding a bike and a light machine. Oh man, this is a wheelie machine. I'm not no fucking wheelie dude, but you can feel it. It's got that low end torque. This thing can deliver. This is smile on your face, man. I gotta get some better tires in this thing. Alrighty. Taking her back home. Have a good day, y'all.